Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Daniel Cormier predicts Jorge Masvidal could be next in line for a welterweight title shot with a win over Gilbert Burns. Here's what DC had to say during a recent YouTube video.
He said Colby Covington is only the champion of calling the police. So these words in regards to Covington, while they may seem odd because Covington won the last fight, they just fought each other in the last fight that both of them had. But these guys have a very bad history against each other. They can't stand each other. But he also recognizes that Colby really doesn't have much of a pass with Leon Edwards. He's fighting Gilbert Burns, who's won 2 in a row, who's looked phenomenal. And he knows that if he beats Gilbert Burns, he recognizes that he then has the opportunity to make that jump, to find himself against a guy. If you're in Miami, where it's going to be a pro Masvidal crowd, he wins, gets in the middle of the octagon and tells Joe Rogan, I want Leon Edwards. Come get this biscuit. Come get this 2-piece. Dude, the world's going to go crazy. And Dana will look at that and go, hey, man, there's a lot of history to that.
Beneil Dariush reveals he's extremely upset at Charles Oliveira. During a recent interview, this is what Dariush had to say. Man, I'm not going to lie, pretty upset with Charles. We should have done this fight in early March. I should be chilling right now, spending time with my baby, but I have to do my practice, I have to do my recovery stuff, I have to eat right, lose weight, and still spend time with my baby. Not gonna lie, pretty upset. I'm going to make sure I'm going to be as ready as possible, is the way I'm gonna put it. The game plan is to be perfect. If we fight 3 rounds, he doesn't get anything from me. I win every second, I win every position, and I dominate the fight. That's the game plan. I believe I will finish him before then, but my focus is 3 rounds. Israel Adesanya clarifies comments he made about Alex Pereira during a recent interview. Earlier in the week, Izzy said this will be his last fight against Pereira, and now Izzy explained why he made these comments.
I just feel for me. I think it's for me. I just like to put that pressure on myself. Like, you know, I mean, I fight at 205 too, but like, yeah, I just like to put that pressure on myself. Like, this is also, I don't like fighting the same people. I want to fight different bodies. I want to take more other heads, you know. So I want to get this guy. Gonna get this guy, and then I can move on to another head. Izzy
also goes on to give credit to Pereira for his fighting style.
Johnson, yeah, he's legit. He's my guy, and he's studied, you know, Alex's style as well, and just emulated it. You know, finding someone to emulate my style is very hard, but like I said, I've been saying this and I maintain it. He's very basic, but that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. He's really good at his basics. Very nuclear with his basics. So Benny's been trying to, you know, emulate that.
Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith discussed Justin Gaethje's comments about leaving the UFC if Conor McGregor receives a title shot before him. Here's the clip.
So I get being upset because at the end of the day, this isn't basketball, this isn't baseball, this isn't all these other sports that have playoffs where you get into a situation where your record determines whether you make it to the playoffs. And I had a friend that made this point on his podcast, so I'm stealing it from him. And I just thought it was a great point, but this is a prize fighting sport. And it determines like money and income determine kind of who gets the title shot when it comes to guys that are very similar in places in the rankings. So I get it. I would be upset if I was Gaethje too, but I heard someone say this, and I'm stealing this as well. If Gaethje was the champion, he would absolutely want Conor to get a title shot coming off of 1 win. I think that's facts. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. If Gaethje was the one collecting those pay-per-view points, I think he'd probably be okay with it. But in the position he's in now, I cannot disagree with how he feels. I hope he doesn't quit. I think that's a little bit, you know, maybe he was speaking a little bit, you know, tongue in cheek. But
I don't think he would.
No.
I think that's probably just a way of phrasing how disappointed he would be.
Right. UFC Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock gives his take on why Jon Jones is not the greatest of all time. Here's what Shamrock had to say during an interview with the Schmo.
What do you make of Jon Jones coming back at heavyweight, beating Cyril Gane, quick work? You did the submission, he did the submission. First round, he's the champion, champ, light heavyweight champion, and now he's the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, Jones is amazing, man. I mean, guy's gone through some ups and downs. They had a lot of different issues. He's been able to go back, kind of reevaluate his life, put himself back in position for a title shot. He goes out there, he dominates without a shadow of a doubt, just took him out. I love it, but I'm in a position now where people want to throw that GOAT name around too easy. But I think that Jones has a legitimate opportunity to be the GOAT. But in my opinion, my humble opinion, he's got to fight Moachik and then Ngannou. I think those two, and I don't know if Ngannou's even possible, but start with Moachik, and if he gets that, then we start, that GOAT word starts to be more real. But in my opinion, I just think in the world now, in sports, we start throwing that GOAT name around too much, man.
Daniel Cormier explains why a rematch between Paddy Pimblett and Jared Gordon could be the fight to make. On the potential rematch, Cormier had this to say.
I think he has to take a bit of a different approach with this Jared Gordon situation. Because I don't know if... I interviewed him before the fight, and he almost dismissed Gordon, right? Like Gordon wasn't on his level. And now he's saying he's going to get him out there very early. I think the approach maybe needs to change a little bit to where he respects Gordon a little bit more after spending that 15 minutes in the octagon with him. Now, I'm not saying fear him. I'm not saying be hesitant in your approach against him. I'm saying respect him to the point that you don't suffer from maybe having an expectation that when it doesn't come to fruition, you seem a bit confused. Because Pimblett did do some good things in that fight. Like, let's just be honest about it. I know people want to shit on him and people want to talk about UFC bias and all that. That's not the case. I mean, hell, somebody last week scored the fight for Chito Vera. I love Chito Vera. But dude, he didn't win that fight. He barely won any moments in that fight. If anything, he won one round. So to think that people just said Paddy Pimblett needs to win this fight was kind of crazy.
Henry Cejudo reveals he favors Alex Pereira over Israel Adesanya in the rematch that's set to go down next Saturday at UFC 287. It all depends if Israel made those adjustments in that fight. If Israel did not add somebody to his camp, it's going to be the same guy that wins. If he made those transitions, I can see Izzy playing the distance game, point fighting, and then maybe look for something big to eventually take him down, because he did, as we saw before. Izzy had 6 minutes and 34 seconds of control time. Take him into the deeper rounds and then start looking for your takedowns. Maybe point fight him for the first 3 rounds, and then the next 2 maybe start using your grappling. He just believes he can beat him in his style, so for that reason I just can't. I'm actually somewhat cheering for Israel, but not really because I haven't seen enough from Israel from the transitions that he added somebody. I just feel like Pereira's power, the fact that he's already beaten him 3 times, I think a 4th time he just puts a stamp on it. Dustin Poirier claims he's the most exciting fighter in the UFC. During a recent interview with SiriusXM, this is what Poirier had to say.
So Justin Gaethje said, like, one of the big things in his last fight was, hey, I'm the most exciting fighter in mixed martial arts. I got all these bonuses, and you know, I'm the most exciting fighter in mixed martial arts. You're on the short list too, Dustin, of guys that can make that.
All that, man. The short list. I am the guy. Before Justin Gaethje was fighting MMA, I was putting on
the
fight
violence
of the years. You know,
triangle winner. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was headlining events in 2012, putting on fight of the years. I don't even know if Gaethje was fighting then. You know what I mean? I've been doing this.
So you're the most exciting fighter in MMA, not Justin Gaethje.
Every time he fights, I'm going to tune in. But I stopped the guy in a fight of the year. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Yeah.
His words, not mine, Dustin. I was curious what you said. So maybe,
Don't shoot the messenger, man.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.